This is a review of the KJV Allan Longprimer Edition Bible in Highland Goatskin, also known as the Allan Longprimer 53 Edition. R.L. Allan Publishers, established in 1863 in Glasgow, Scotland, and currently located in London, is a world-renowned Bible publisher and leather manufacturer. From the birthplace of King James himself come some of the finest premium leather KJV Bibles on the planet. And you can see three of these fine specimens here: the Allan Longprimer Highland Goatskin Edition. On the left, of course, we have the brown Highland Goatskin. As in the middle is the black, and we also have the navy blue. There's also a red edition that is not shown here in the video. The name Longprimer is actually referring to the font that is used to make this magnificent large print reference Bible, which we'll get to take a closer look at in a moment here. Many of our customers will rejoice at the sight of this video because that does mean that these Longprimer Highland Goatskin 53s are back in stock. They are back in stock after nearly an 18-month absence while Allan was reprinting and reconfiguring the Longprimer Edition Bible. In that time, of course, this has certainly been one of our best-selling premium leather Bibles, and it's also uniquely one of the only large print reference Bibles that has center column references, which we'll also take a closer look at. Again, with that Highland Goatskin cover, we're going to see that they feature the full overlapping yap, which that's that extra flap here that's covering and coming down, covering the page edges, kind of gives some extra protection. Also just means you're getting more of that beautiful Highland Goatskin leather, which is extremely soft and extremely flexible, which we'll get to take a look at as well. We're going to see that these Bibles are lined to the edge with Smythe sewn pages, feature 3 ribbon markers, 100,000 cross references in the center column, as well as a subject index, concordance, dictionary of proper names, and 10 pages of lined writing paper at the back of these beautiful Bibles. So without further ado, we're going to take a closer look at these 3 Allan Longprimer Edition Highland Goatskin Bibles. So we've come in for a closer look of these Allan Longprimer Highland Goatskin Leather Edition Bibles. We're seeing here, this of course is the brown on the left, the black in the middle, and then that navy blue on the right. Really gorgeous Highland Goatskin. You can kind of see the stamping of the leather. It's very smooth. Of course, the gold holy Bible there. And again, as we tried to show, this is how flexible that this Bible is. As we would say in Texas, this is literally rolling up like a tortilla. You're getting that extra, the lining here, the gold lining on the inside edge of this Bible. It's just laying extremely flat, even though these are brand new out of the box. You see that it is leather lined, as we mentioned. There's the Highland Goatskin stamping, which if you got to the back of this Bible, still seeing the beautiful Highland Goatskin, you also see that they stamp it as Allan binding, so you know that you're getting that R.L. Allan binding and world-renowned quality in this Bible. So that's the black edition. You're seeing that these are what's called the red under gold gilded page edges. Red under gold, so depending on kind of the angle that you see, you can see they look kind of more red. Then when you get a little more direct on, it's the gold. That's a really beautiful quality for the page edges there. You see those probably first made popular by Cambridge, but certainly a nice feature of these Allan Bibles here. So here is, of course, the brown edition. Again, exact same quality. You're getting that fully overlapping yap. So whenever you see here on the side, the pages are protected. They are essentially covered up there and almost touching together. If you close them there, if you were to tape them together or something, it would literally restrict your access to the pages. Just showing you, again, that's the generous overlapping full yap, as we call it. This one just as flexible, of course. The same red under gold gild page edges here on the brown edition, and then the navy blue. The navy blue here, same deal. It's a really beautiful dark shade of navy blue. It's actually becoming very popular with our customers. Same deal here, just extremely flexible. It's lined to the edge. It's just, again, this is just exuding the utmost quality in this Bible. And then, of course, what's unique about these is you're getting the blue under gold gilded edges. So you kind of see from the side there, it kind of looks a little bit blue at first, and then when you get a little more direct, it turns to the gold. And again, just shows you the quality here and just the available options there of the black, brown, navy blue, or red. We're going to focus in on the black edition to do some further study and actually look at the inside of this Bible. Before that, I wanted to show this signature R.L. Allan blue box and packaging. We see here on the label here at the bottom, Allan's Reference Bible Longprimer with chain references Highland Navy Blue Goatskin. That's the Allan 53 NB. Of course, the black is the Allan 53, and then your brown is going to be your 53 BR. Really beautiful boxes that those come in. The Bible itself is just phenomenal. We've shown the flexibility of the leather there. Now we're going to show kind of the reinforcement of the binding here. We see this extra page, which you'll see that's very similar to our LCBP and church publishers Bibles and our own Schofield lambskin leather Bible, where you have this reinforced end paper, and they glue that together on purpose to provide additional support, additional longevity for this Bible. That is done on purpose, so please don't pull those apart if you get this Bible, which you certainly should consider getting one. Taking a closer look at this black Highland Goatskin binding and some of its features, we're going to see that this is very unique in that it comes with 3 ribbon markers. Those are 3 navy blue ribbon markers in the black. They're various colors throughout the various colors of the various other colors of the Highland Goatskin edition. You can actually also see here on the bottom here all of those individual signatures, showing there that this is a Smythe sewn binding, that those various signatures or groups of pages are sewn into the binding. It's really incredibly well made. We'll also show the sewn binding here on the inside. So to get in here to Genesis, we can actually see further evidence of that sewn binding. Here specifically, we're seeing some of the stitching, or what Allan also calls overcasting, once again showing that this Bible is sewn in. The pages are sewn into the binding. That's how you get that incredible flexibility. It also means you're going to get more durability and longevity, and it's going to be very difficult for these pages to come out over time. Shows you more of the quality here of the Allan Longprimer 53 Highland Goatskin. We're going to see here the features here, a nice presentation page with some decorative blue and red artwork there. Several pages here of the family records section, a place for children and their names, marriage records, and you got the grandchildren, you got a record for deaths, and you get to, of course, the title page here, R.L. Allan and Son Publishers. The final unique feature we'll show before getting into the text of the Allan Longprimer is going to be this very unique royal license. Certainly not present in most King James Version Bibles. R.L. Allan and Son Publishers Limited, 47 Purdon Street in Glasgow, United Kingdom. We see there that in terms of the letters patent granted by Her late Majesty Queen Victoria to her printers for Scotland, and of the instructions issued by her said Majesty in Council, dated 11th July 1839. So we're seeing there, this is a very unique thing, and just another sign of quality of this Allan Longprimer and the kind of publisher you're dealing with R.L. Allan and Son, who again have been around for over 150 years. As we get to the inside of the Allan Longprimer, you'll see that this Bible is not only beautiful on the outside, but it's actually very useful in its features. And as we get here to Micah chapter 5 and take a closer look, just look how flat this Bible is laying. Just completely flat there. Again, brand new out of the box. You're not going to get that with typically your mass-produced Bible that you're going to find on your average Christian bookstore shelf. But you do get that with the Allan Longprimer. With that said, we're going to take a closer look here at Micah and chapter 5 and verse number 2 so that we can show off this center column reference system, which is very comprehensive. Again, contains 100,000 cross references in this Longprimer Bible. So there's Micah chapter 5 verse number 2, which says, "But thou Bethlehem Ephratah, though thou be little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall come forth unto me that is to be ruler in Israel, whose goings forth have been from of old, from everlasting." We're going to take a closer look there, and you can see that's actually a B next to the word Bethlehem. That B, what that's saying is that tells you to go and look in the center column reference, which is this section here, and look for the B in the center column reference. Here's the B in the center column, A, B, C, D, E, F. We see the B. J-E-R period is Jeremiah 41:17. That's saying Jeremiah 41:17. Underneath that, MT period, 2.1, that's saying Matthew 2:1. So Jeremiah 41:17 being the first listed reference there, that's going to be what's called the backward reference. That's actually going to say that if you had just read Jeremiah 41:17, it would have sent you here to Micah 5:2. And then Matthew 2:1, which we see next there, that's going to be what's called the forward reference. We're going to take a look at both of these to see how this cross-reference system works in this Allan Longprimer Edition Bible. So we get here to Jeremiah chapter 41, and we know that we're specifically looking for verse 17, and there is verse number 17, saying that, "And they departed and dwelt in the habitation of Chimham, which is by Bethlehem, to go to enter into Egypt." So we look closer there at Bethlehem. Once again, we're starting to see a theme here. That is a K, H-I-J-K, next to the word Bethlehem. We should know now that we need to look in the center column out to the right for that K reference. So here is the K in the center column here at Jeremiah 42:17, which is right there. That's an NEH period 7.26. That stands for Nehemiah. And below that, we see the MIC 5.2, which should look familiar as Micah 5:2. So once again, we know that that Nehemiah 7:26 reference, that is the backward reference. That's saying that if we want to continue going back to the beginning of the Bible and the original reference there, that we would flip to Nehemiah 7:26. We know that Nehemiah 7:26, the forward reference of Nehemiah 7:26 would be Jeremiah 42:17, which we're on. And then Micah 5:2, we know that as we just came from, if we now go forward to Micah 5:2, that's going to be where we just came from. That's going to be that same topic of Bethlehem, the same reference, and that's how that works together with the backward reference of Nehemiah 7:26 and the forward reference of Micah 5:2. So we get here to Nehemiah chapter 7, and we know that verse 26 was the backward reference that we just came from, that was referenced there concerning Bethlehem. But to get a little more context, I'm going to read here in Nehemiah chapter 7 and verse number 6, saying here that these are the children of the province that went up out of the captivity of those that had been carried away, whom Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried away, and came again to Jerusalem and to Judah, every one unto his city. So we see here that Nehemiah chapter 7 verse 26, which is again that backward reference, says that the men of Bethlehem, once again, and Netophah, 184 it's numbering the amount of people that came from Bethlehem that left and escaped the captivity. 184 that's 188. We know that a score is 20. So we see here that Q for Bethlehem. So here's the Q in Bethlehem, and then the Q in the center column. We see here that the backward reference is Ezra 2:21. So we could continue doing that, and we know that if we read from Ezra 2:21, that the forward reference would be here in Nehemiah chapter 7 verse 26. But we see here that the forward reference from here, from Nehemiah 7:26, is Jeremiah 41:17, where we just came from. So you're getting an idea. We started in Micah 5:2. We started following the backward reference to show how all the scripture has continuity. It's tied together. Now we're going to follow that forward reference and go back through here, through to Jeremiah and through to Micah, and see what else is in this chain of Bethlehem. So we get back here to Micah chapter 5. And remember, we were specifically looking at verse number 2, where we saw that first instance of Bethlehem and the B in Bethlehem. We know that that's dealing with the center column reference of the B from Bethlehem. We saw there that Jeremiah 41:17 had a backward reference of Nehemiah 7:26. We know that Nehemiah 7:26 had a backward reference of Ezra. So we went all the way back. So you can see that if you started in Nehemiah 7:26, you come forward to Jeremiah 41:17, and then you get here to Micah chapter 5 verse 2, and here in Micah 5:2, we know that Jeremiah 41:17 is where we came from. We're at Micah 5:2. The next one was Matthew 2:1. That's the forward reference. So here's Matthew chapter 2, and specifically verse number 1. We see there, "Now when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem." We should be familiar with this theme by now, Bethlehem. That's an A next to the word Bethlehem. And we can actually still see here on our screen in the center column, that's an A there in the center column reference. So as we get here to that center column reference of Micah 5:2, again, we just came from Micah 5:2 to Matthew 2 verse 1, and then we see that the forward reference is going to be LK period 2 period 4 comma 15. That's Luke 2 verses 4 and 15 for the forward reference of Bethlehem. We get here to Luke chapter 2. Down at the page we see the beginning of that chapter. We know that we're looking for Luke chapter 2 and verse number 4. We see it there. And Joseph also went up from Galilee out of the city of Nazareth into Judea unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David. We're going to see that B in Bethlehem. Remember that. But first, we're also supposed to go down and read verse number 15. And we see verse number 15, and it came to pass, as the angels were gone away from them into heaven, the shepherds said one to another, Let us now go even unto Bethlehem, and see this thing which is come to pass, which the Lord hath made known unto us. So once again, if we were up here at verse number 4, Luke 2, verse 4, we just read 15 as well. There's that B in Bethlehem. The B in Bethlehem, we know. We need to look for that B right over here in the center column. To get a better look at that center column, we get here to the B, and we see, once again, we came from the backward reference of Matthew chapter 2, verse 1. We're here at Luke chapter 2, verses 4 and 15. Now it says the other forward reference is JNO period, and that's a 7 period 42. JNO, that stands for John. John, they do JNO instead of JON, because JON would stand for the Old Testament book Jonah. So JNO, John 7:42 is our forward reference for Bethlehem. So we got here to John chapter 7. We need to flip the page to see verse number 42, which was our forward reference from Luke 2, 4, and 15. So John chapter 7, verse 42, Hath not the scripture said that Christ cometh of the seed of David, and out of the town of Bethlehem, where David was? ? We see here once again that same theme of Bethlehem, and that is a K, H-I-J-K for Bethlehem. Following that K from Bethlehem to the central column references, we see here again Luke 2, 4, and 15. That was the previous reference, or the backward reference, if you will. That's where we came from. And notice now that the next thing under that is an L, H-I-J-K-L. So there is no other forward reference. That tells us we have come to the end of the cross-reference of Bethlehem. Once again, shows you that this Allan Longprimer Bible, yes, it's gorgeous. It's a beautiful Bible on the outside, incredible quality Highland Goatskin leather with Smythsonian pages, leather lined to the edge, all that good stuff, full overlapping gap. But this is also a very useful, large print, by the way, reference Bible with center column references. So we know we've come to the end of that reference of K, talking about Bethlehem. We know Bethlehem was important. It was important essentially because that is where Christ was born. We can see here that, again, also at the top of the page here are these dates. That's AD 32, Anno Domini, or the year of our Lord 32. Well, notice if we go back to some of the previous references, we can see some earlier dates pertaining to that chain and that prophecy of Bethlehem. Here in Luke 2, where we read verse number 4 that talked about Jesus being born in Bethlehem, we see the top of the center column reference is a 7 BC. So that's the year 7 before Christ. So if we come back to where it all started in Micah chapter 5 and verse number 2, where we first talked about Bethlehem, saying that essentially prophesying where Christ would be born, we see here at the top of this center column reference, check this out, 700 BC. Obviously in BC it counts down, so 700 the next year was 699. What we just saw in Luke chapter 2 verses 4 and 15, where that date was 7 BC, and we're seeing here in Micah 5:2 that this was 700 BC. So that's clearly saying that 693 years before it happened, Micah, this Old Testament prophet, prophesied that Christ would be born in Bethlehem. That is the power of the cross-reference system. That is the power of course, the King James Version Bible. It's amazing to see how Scripture works together, and that's the purpose of this Bible, Follow those cross references, learn more about the topics you're studying and reading, and discover really cool facts like that that help prove the validity and authenticity of the King James Version Bible. We also see these really cool subheadings here in Micah chapter 5:2, as we just talked about, the birth, kingdom, and conquest of Christ, appropriately titled there at the top of this page. Here in John chapter 8, we see the subheading, Christ, the light of the world. One final example here in Hebrews chapter 11, the faith chapter, we see that subheading, an exhortation to hold fast the faith. As we get to the end of the Bible here, just because we get to Revelation 22 in the end doesn't mean the fun had to stop here, or the features. We see that this continues on the Longprimer, the Dictionary of Scripture Proper Names, a subject index, and a concordance enhance the study features of this Bible. Here in the Dictionary of Proper Names, we're going to take a look at the example of David. We see here, of course, David, one of the most famous men in the Bible, the man after God's own heart. It says that meaning is beloved. There's also the phonetic pronunciation, if you needed help with that. D-A tilde and then a hyphen V-I-D, David, kind of tells you how to pronounce that there. We see that he was a king, he was a son of Jesse, and then it's going to start all these various cross-references and the various stories of David. So where he's anointed by Samuel in 1 Samuel 16:8, where he plays the harp before Saul in 1 Samuel 16:19, his zeal in the faith. You want to know where he kills Goliath and faces the giant? Well, you see it here, 1 Samuel chapter 17:49. That's the beauty of the Dictionary of Proper Names. There's also a very large subject index. So the subject index, just like it sounds, is going to literally be an index of subjects and help you find more about specific subjects in the Bible. This is very similar to what you might find in like the Thompson Chain Reference Bible, one of the most renowned study Bibles that we sell. Well, here in this Longprimer, it has the cross references, also has this very definitive and excellent subject index in the back. And we're looking here at this example of grace, the subject of grace. It says the grace of God in Jesus Christ. It starts to give us lots of cross references. That's Psalm 84:11, Zechariah 4:7, Luke 2:40, John 1:16, Acts 20:24, Romans 11:5, and on and on. And then we see salvation through, that means grace, salvation through grace. And we can read about that in Acts 15:11. Not a lot more important topics in the Bible than salvation through grace, which I absolutely believe in. We see the effects of grace, 2 Corinthians 1:12, Titus 2:11, 1 Peter 4:10, and you get an idea there. That's just one of the many subjects covered in the subject index in the Longprimer Edition Bible. After the Dictionary of Proper Names and the subject index, there's also a very large concordance. As we get here to the end of the concordance, we see that it ends on page number 246. So that's saying 246 total pages of the Dictionary of Proper Names, the subject index, and the concordance to round out the list of study features in this Allan Longprimer King James Version Bible in the black Highland Goatskin. On the next page, it starts the Oxford Bible maps. There are 9 different maps listed there. A map of Jerusalem in the Old Testament times. You'll see that they're going to be full color. Going to see several other maps here following the legend on the listing of the maps, and it certainly rounds out the list of the Bible features there. Here at the back of the maps, we're actually going to start to see these lined pages for note-taking. Those are ruled pages. It's kind of a light blue lining there, and I believe there's up to 10 pages, maybe more here, for writing, and it's double-sided. So if you want to add some notes, sermon outline, anything that you're looking to do there, you can certainly write that in. It's another really nice feature of this Allan Longprimer Bible. So there you have it, KJV Allan Longprimer Edition Highland Goatskin Leather Bible. It is one of the most beautiful Bibles and one of the best made Bibles that you can possibly get. It's probably the best and best quality large print Bible that you can get. Center column references, black Highland Goatskin, also available in brown, navy blue, and red, as we said. Red under gold gilded page edges. Just extremely flexible, beautiful, handcrafted, world-renowned from R.L. Allan, Allan Longprimer Bible. We certainly hope you enjoyed this review of these beautiful Bibles, and we certainly also look forward to sending you one soon from the #1 source for all things KJV.